So, good morning, everyone. So, now let's talk about the stratospheric ozone depletion. But before that, we have the introduction. So, the ozone layer is a protective shield in the atmosphere. Yes, because the ozone layer is a region of Earth's surface or the Earth's stratosphere located about 10 to 50 kilometers above the surface. So, it contains a high concentration of ozone molecules interact with the UV rays from the sun. So, these layers act like a sunscreen for the planet. So the second one is it absorbs harmful ultraviolet or UV radiation from the sun. Yes, because the ozone layer's most important function is to absorb over 90% of the sun's harmful ultraviolet or radiation, especially the ultraviolet B or the UVB and the ultraviolet C or the UVC rays. So these rays can cause skin cancer, eye damage or like cataracts and others. And harm to plants and animals. So without the ozone layer, life on Earth would be much more vulnerable to solar radiation. Yes, so the ozone layer is very important, no? So the third one is the ozone depletion is the thinning of this layer due to man-made chemicals. So the ozone depletion means the ozone layer is getting thinner or having holes. So especially over the poles like the famous Antarctic ozone hole. So this happens when human man-made chemicals like CFCs rise into the stratosphere and break down ozone molecules, reducing the layer's ability to block ultraviolet rays. So what are the causes of ozone depletion? So first is the chlorofluorocarbons or the CFCs are the main cause. So CFCs are man-made chemicals that were widely used in such as the refrigerators and air conditioners as collants, aerosol or spray cans as propellants, then foam blowing agents or in insulation. So these gases are stable near the Earth's surface, but when they reach the stratosphere, the UV rays break them apart, releasing the chlorine atoms, and also which then destroy ozone molecules. So one chlorine atom can destroy thousands of ozone molecules. O, di ba? Isa lang ka chlorine atom can makaguba na siya sa thousands of ozone molecules. So the other harmful substance are the halogens, carbon tetrachloride, and the metal chloroform. So besides CFCs, other substances also damage the ozone layer, like the halogens. So halon used in fire extinguishers. Then the carbon tetrachloride, so used in cleaning and industrial processes. Then the metal chloroform used in manufacturing and as a solvent. No, so these also release chlorine or bromine atoms which attack and break the ozone in the atmosphere. So the third one that causes the ozone depletion is these chemicals break ozone molecules when they reach the upper atmosphere. So ibig sabihin once this chemical rise into the stratosphere, the sunlight breaks them down, so releasing chlorine or bromine atoms. So these atoms then react with the ozone, no? turning it into oxygen. So, and reducing the amount of protective ozone. So, this process continues as long as those chemicals remain in the atmosphere. And they can stay there for decades. So, pwede sila mag-stay for decades.
To discuss. So our topic is all about the human activities and effect of ozone depletion. The primary complaint in ozone depletion in the release of chlorofluorocarbon and other ozone depleting substances. They were widely used before the harmful effects were understood. So CFC were used in first refrigerator and air conditioner. CFC were ideal refrigerant because they are non-toxic and non-flammable. However, older model often leak CFC over their lifestyle, gradually releasing them into the atmosphere. Example, a refrigerator from the 1970s used for 20 years continuously released small amount of CFC through tiny leak. It is sell. Millions of such refrigerators worldwide contribute significantly to ozone depletion. Second is spray can and foam production. CFC serve as propellant in aerosol can and as blowing agent in the production of foam. Their widespread use dramatically increase atmospheric CFC concentration. For example, each spray of a hairspray can release a small quantity of CFC. The collective effect of billions of spray globally was substantial. Similarly, the manufacturing of foam, furniture, and insulation released large amounts of CFC. Third is industrial activities and release large amount of substance. And many industrial processes release CFC and other ODS. This includes solvent, cleaning agent, and fire extinguisher. Example, the electronic industry use CFC in cleaning processes, and their improver disposal contribute to atmospheric pollution. So, second is effect of ozone depletion. The thinning of the ozone layer primarily and the atmosphere has serious consequences. So, first bullet is more UV radiation reaches the earth. The ozone layer naturally absorbs most of the sun harmful ultraviolet B radiation. Ozone depletion allows more UVB to reach the earth's surface. For example, a region with significant ozone depletion might experience a 10 to 15% increase in ultraviolet B or UVB radiation compared to an area with a healthy ozone layer. So, second bullet increase health risk. Increase UVB exposure lead to skin cancer, eye damage, and weakened immune system. So, skin cancer, UVB damage DNA, increasing the risk of skin cancer, including melanoma. For example, people living in an area with higher UVB radiation have statistically higher incidence of skin cancer. So, second is eye damage. UVB can cause cataracts, clouding the eyelid, and potentially leading to blindness. For example, long-term exposure to to high level of UVB increases the risk of developing cataracts. So third is weakened immune system. UVB radiation can suppress the immune system, making individual more vulnerable to infection. For example, people with weak immune system due to excessive UVB exposure are more susceptible to virus illness. So the third bullet is environmental damage. So there are two: harm to plant and animals and disruption on a marine ecosystem. Harm to plant and animals. UVB radiation can damage plant tissues, reducing crop yield and affecting the growth and survival of various animals. So example, UVB can damage the DNA of plant, affecting their ability to photosynthesize and growth. Animals can suffer from sunburn, reduce reproductive success, and other negative effects. And second is disruption of marine ecosystem. UVB can penetrate water, harming marine organisms, especially phytoplankton. And this disruption can have cascading effect on the entire ecosystem. Example, damage to phytoplankton can reduce fish population and disrupt other parts of the marine food chain. So in conclusion, human activities, particularly the release of chlorofluorocarbon or CFC from refrigerant, spray cans, and industrial processes damage the ozone layer. This resulting in increasing harmful ultraviolet or UV radiation reaching Earth, causing high risk of skin cancer, eye damage, weakened immune system, and harm to plant and animal. International agree have reduced CFC use, leading to ozone layer recovery. Thank you.
Good day everyone. Today, I will be your next supporter. By the way, I'm Sherwin Batutay, and this time, we will talk about the international response to prevent ozone layer depletion. But before that, allow me to share a very short yet alarming information about our ozone layer, or most commonly known as the blanket of the atmosphere. So, the ozone layer is the blanket of the atmosphere that protects us from harmful energy from the sun, known as UV rays. Now, if we lost the ozone layer, what will happen to Earth? First, marine life will be in danger, crops, and other living organisms. Not just them, but also human. In the 80s, scientists discovered that the ozone layer over the South Pole was depleting fast. But the good thing is that it is now slowly recovering thanks to the superhero of the environmental treaties, or also known as Montreal Protocol on Substance that deplete the ozone layer. So that's it for our introduction. Now let's jump to our main topic. Now let's dive to our main topic, that superhero I mentioned, the Montreal Protocol. The Montreal Protocol of 1987 is an international treaty designed to protect the Earth's ozone layer by phasing out the production and consumption of ozone-depleting substances, or ODS. So, how does it work? International cooperation. The protocol is a global agreement with universal ratifications, meaning all countries are bound by its obligations. Countries that is within this organization or treaty are bound to oblige and must know its role and purpose in maintaining the production of CFS and must think of an alternatives to lessen it. Control over substance. The protocol targets specific ODS like CFS and halons, which are commonly used in refrigerators, aerosols, and fire extinguishers. This protocol also controls the use of the following products that is greatly increase the risk of ODS. What are ODS, or ozone depleting substance? These are substances that give threat to the ozone layer, and below are some examples. Another thing to remember is that ODS are human-made, which means we are just slowly killing ourselves because of our wrongdoings. Here are some examples of ODS, or ozone depletion substance. Number 1 is CFS, or chlorofluorocarbons. This type of substance mostly found in refrigerators and aerosol can. By switching and using safer alternatives, it lowers or decreases the chance of ozone layer to deplete. The safer alternatives used are hydrofluorocarbons, or HFC, and hydrofluorodefense, HFO, are used to replace the OPS, or ozone depletion substance, because HFC do not deplete the ozone layer. Some may contribute to global warming and was countered by HFO to lower global warming potential. Due to the massive impact of the Montreal Protocol and its effectiveness, the ozone layer is slowly recovering. But even if it is recovering, we can't just relax because life is unpredictable. Some unexpected occurrence may rise. So that's why scientists keep monitoring the ozone layer situation. And that would be all. Thank you.
So now the conclusion. So the ozone depletion was a serious issue caused by human activity. So the damage to the ozone layer was not a natural event. No, it was directly caused by human made chemicals, especially the CFCs and other ozone depleting substances. So these were widely used in everyday products and industries before the scientists realized the harmful impact they had on the atmosphere. So, the depletion lead to increase the UV radiation or the ultraviolet radiation, which threatened human health, ecosystems, and wildlife. So, the second one is the global efforts like the Montreal Protocol made a big difference. So, the Montreal Protocol, signed in 1987, was a landmark international agreement where countries across the world committed to phasing out the production and use of harmful ozone depleting chemicals. No, so it is considered one of the most successful environment treaties in history because of this agreement. The use of CFCs and similar chemicals dropped dramatically. So the ozone layer has stopped shrinking and is now recovering slowly. So scientists estimate that the ozone layer could return to pre-1980 levels by the middle of the 21st century if current efforts continue. Then so we must continue to protect the ozone layer for the future because while progress has been made, our responsibility isn't over. Yes, because some of ozone depleting substances are still in the atmosphere and take decades to disappear. So we must support ongoing environmental process or the policies, then use ozone friendly products. So educate others about the importance of the ozone layer. So Protecting the ozone layer is essential for our health because the environment for the future generations. So we need to protect our stratospheric ozone layer. So to the ozone depletion, and also no maka-help jud ni siya para sa atong health and the environment and para sa future generations. Thank you for listening. I hope nakasabot mo. Thank you.